Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sound Off with Sinkoff. I'm your host, Brian Sinkoff. Thanks so much for checking out my podcast here, wherever you get your podcasts. Of course, Sound Off with Sinkoff, sponsored by the Sinkoff Realty Group. Sinkoff Realty Group, located in the heart of Delmar, New York, in the capital region of New York, just outside of Albany. All right, we are rolling on these podcasts, just absolutely lining them up and knocking them down. We've talked sports, we've talked pop culture, we've talked lots of things, and this is what I promised you the podcast would be. Today, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about sports memorabilia. As a sports fan, everyone out there, I know you have a prized sports memorabilia possession. You have a prized possession on you in your favorite room, locked away in a safe, whether it's like a rookie Don Mattingly or a Mickey Mantle or a Tom Seaver, whatever it might be. Is it an autographed baseball, maybe a ticket stub, perhaps a program of the first ever game you attended with your dad or with your friends. For me, mine personally goes back to 1984, and it's actually 4 pieces of memorabilia. It is I want to show it to you. And I think the cool thing about it is this was a gift from my mom for my bar mitzvah. So here it is right here on the left side of your screen. This is my office, by the way, at the Sinkoff Realty Group. Little wall of fame with pictures of some famous people I've met, pop culture and sports. There's Cal Ripken. There's the guy from The Office, Walking Dead, Steve Amell from Arrow, Mariano Rivera. But here is the prized possession, my sports memorabilia prized possession. And that is something that is near and dear to my heart. I'm going to zip through all 4 of them here. But what this is, a gift from my mom to me for my bar mitzvah. These are 4 autographed plaques, I guess you could say, autographed really pieces of paper from each of the professional sports teams in the DC area where I grew up. So you have from the Washington Bullets, from the Capitals, from the Orioles, and from the Washington Redskins, which of course was their team nickname at the time. So my mom, she actually, this is pre-internet. You didn't have cell phones. So she got the numbers of each of the teams, made a phone call, said, I'm going to be sending this to you for my son. Will the team sign it? And amazingly, they did. And they sent it back. And they're in pristine condition. They're in frames, the original frames that they were in when I got them. And it is just an awesome collection, a thing for my collection. We're going to go through each of the teams individually. And again, they're personalized. My mom had the artist that did sort of the calligraphy for the bar mitzvah, everyone, the sign-in board, right? You've all been to a wedding or a bar mitzvah. You've seen that. So this sort of matched the motif of the sign-in board, but it was done in the team colors. So here you have the Bullets, right? Probably of the 4 teams, this might have been the worst team. They were a non-playoff team, maybe like a 500 team, kind of crappy. Gene Shoes, the coach, the late Gene Shoe. Jeff Rulin played at Iona, coached at Iona as well. Bernie Bickerstaff, whose son is a coach or just got fired. Frank Johnson, Ricky Mohorn, the Beef Brothers, right? Greg Ballard, Jeff Malone, Tom McMillan, Darren Day, I think, played at UCLA. This was like the year before, or the 2 years before Moses Malone joined the Bullets. Again, now the Wizards, but back then they were called the Bullets. So that's the Bullets. Next is the Capitals. This was actually a playoff team. I think this was like their 3rd straight year of making the playoffs. Remember, the organization only started in 74, so this is like a 10-year-old franchise here. And this was an era they first made the playoffs, my Caps, in 82, and then kind of became playoff regulars from that point on. But you could see there's a few Hall of Famers on this. Bobby Carpenter, Mike Gardner, 500 goal scorer. You got Scott Stevens, former New Jersey Devil, won a few cups with them. Rod Langway right here. Remember, Rod Langway didn't wear a helmet. Doug Jarvis is here. I believe he had, at one point, most consecutive games played in the NHL. I believe since been broken. Larry Murphy, I believe he's a Hall of Famer. There might be 3 Hall of Famers on here. Dave Christian played on the U.S. Olympic team, right? Remember Dave Christian? Scotty Stevens, we said. Gaetan Duchesne, Greg Adams, Alan Hallworth, I think that is. Al Jensen, the goalie. It's hard to read. Craig Laughlin, who is an announcer with the Caps now to this day. So that is the Caps. Here is the Orioles. Now, cool thing about the Orioles and the Redskins, which I'll get to in a second. The Orioles were coming off a World Series in '83, their last World Series title. I know that's pretty bad, but that was their last World Series title. So this is the following year after the World Series. And you got to remember, most of the teams in that era, yes, free agency, not as big as it is now. So most of the teams, I mean, they did have free agency, but not nearly what it is today. So most of the teams actually stayed together. So this is the year after they won the World Series. This probably, I want to say, I don't know the details of how my mom got it and when, but I would say these guys probably signed this in spring training of '84. And '84 is the year the Tigers won the World Series, like they started 30-5 or whatever. Anyway, here's Hall of Famer Cal Ripken Jr. right here. You got Eddie Murray right there, Hall of Famer. Also Jim Palmer, who was a pitcher on that team. So there's 3 Hall of Famers right there. Mike Boddicker, Joe Nolan, Al Bumbry, Ken Singleton. Many Yankee fans know him, a member of the Yes Network for many years. Tom Underwood, Elrod Hendricks, legendary coach, Jimmy Dwyer. Here is Scotty McGregor, Tippy Martinez, Todd Cruz, Floyd Rayford, Len Cicada. Really cool. But there's Ripken, there's Palmer, and there is Eddie Murray. So those three Hall of Famers signed it. And then you have the Redskins. Again, they're named today the Commanders, but back then the Redskins. But you could see just how cool this is, personalized to me from the Redskins. It was like the team gave me a bar mitzvah card. Like, that is just amazing. It just warms my heart to think that my mom did that for me. Love you, Mom. This podcast, this episode's for you, because this is still one of my favorite things ever. But here's the Redskins. You got, I believe, 2 or 3 Hall of Famers on this one. Russ Grimm, Jeff Bostic, Mike Nelms, Tony McGee. Hall of Famers are Art Monk, John Riggins right there, Joe Theismann, George Stark, Vernon Dean, Dave Butts, Curtis Jordan. I mean, I could read all these names. Rich Malott, they also helps. They put their numbers. Mark May, you could see he autographed it with the Hogs. Alvin Garrett, Mel Kaufman, Charlie Brown, receiver, Russ Grimm, Jacoby, a great offensive line back then. Donnie Warren, Jeff Hayes, the punter, Mosley, the kicker, Bostic, the center, McGee, defensive lineman. Mike Nelms was the kick returner extraordinaire. Ricky Doc Walker, tight end. Vernon Dean, cornerback. Butts was a defensive tackle, nose guard, and Curtis Jordan was a safety, and then George Stark as well. The whole line, all the Hogs signed it. So that is, and then there is a shot of my office with those pictures. So that is really an awesome thing that my mom did for me. And somebody asked me, because people have seen this, they've come into my office. It's a great talking point when I bring people in, whether it's clients or, talking to agents about joining the Sinkoff Realty Group. Everybody comments, wow, that has a lot of signatures. Like, what's it worth? I mean, the corny thing I want to say is it's like priceless to me. But I don't know like what the true value of it is, simply because it's personalized. It's got my name on it. It's got, the date, which is pretty cool. But most memorabilia, the autographed stuff that's really worth a lot of money, is just a straight autograph. It's not personalized. It's just just the person's name. So, as far as value, it's tough to say. I'll never would sell it. I'd never get rid of it because it's a great memory. It's a great gift. I'll never forget. I had the bar mitzvah in the morning. We had a little break, and then we went to dinner and the party at night where I was breakdancing. And I opened that. They were like wrapped up, and I just couldn't believe, because the question was, how did my mom do it? Like, remember, no internet, none of that stuff. Like, there was a lot of effort to get the person to do the calligraphy of the congratulations, Brian Scott Sinkoff, and then have all the teams, with getting that to all the teams, physically mailing it to them, and then having the team sign it. That's what I find the most remarkable about this, is that it seems like almost every player signed it, and the participation of the teams was tremendous. So, like, props to my mom and whoever she talked to for making sure the team signed it, because today you couldn't have pulled that off. There's just no way. I don't think the teams just get inundated right now. You don't have to have a contact. You can just, go to a website, you just mail something. Back then you had to make a little bit of an effort to look up the address, to communicate with someone. But back, now I don't think a team would do that. I could be wrong. You'd probably have to wait 9 months. Maybe they do it only because it's personalized. But then, would everybody sign it? If you were a Yankee fan, would Aaron Judge sign it? Would Cole sign it? Would Soto sign it? Like, I'm not dogging those guys, but are they signing something like that? I don't know. So that is what the participation, the fact that it was the effort to get it, and then just the display aspect. It's just, it's a 40-year-old gift, and it's also in like mint condition. That's what's so cool about it. It's still pristine. So, not an autographed baseball. It's not a ticket stub. It's not a rookie card in mint condition. It's a bar mitzvah gift from my 4 favorite teams at the time, which, by the way, they still are. And I will admit, I'm still a Wizards fan. Bullets, now Wizards. But yeah, that was a pretty bad team back then, but they participated. So credit to all those pro teams for making that happen. So thanks, Mom, for the awesome bar mitzvah gift. I'm giving you props on that some 40 years later. Really appreciate it. So that being said, what's your favorite sports memorabilia piece? You can comment, you can share this, you can email me, you can message me. I'd love to hear what your favorite sports memorabilia piece is. But that is going to do it for this edition of Sound Off with Sinkoff. I want to thank you so much for joining me. Again, Sound Off sponsored by the Sinkoff Realty Group right here in Del Mar for all of your buying and selling of real estate needs. I will see you next time. Make sure you check out all the previous podcasts and the future ones, because I don't know when the heck you're watching this. But have a great day, everyone. Thanks again for watching.